Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video and welcome to November Plan With Me. So let's begin with talking about October. So I should just address the elephant in the room, and that is that for my October plans, I had planned for me, and I wrote this in the video as well as a kind of message, that I would get Gods of Rot and Ruin back from the editor in the beginning of October. And I wrote it like, yeah, I got it back in the beginning of October, so you will expect videos from me of the project, of editing the project in November. When I wrote that, I had gotten the email like just then that I would get the manuscript back in like a week. And at first, when she wrote me that message, she thought that there wouldn't be that many things that she would have to comment on. But then she has reached out to me saying that there's a lot of things, but it's the teeny tiny things that I just need to change, words and sentences and stuff like that. So there's nothing big that needs to change in the story. It's end of October when I'm filming this and I still haven't gotten it back, and I don't really know when I will. But if I get it back like this week or next week or something, there will definitely be up some videos in November of me editing the project. But now I don't really know what type of videos I'm gonna publish in November because I have nothing planned. Since I'm not doing any editing, I don't really have any videos. So maybe we'll get a reading vlog, maybe we'll just get a random life update vlog, I don't really know. But that's the elephant in the room. So in October, I did not end up editing anything of my debut novel. So that's that. And then another update with the debut novel is that I had my cover reveal here on YouTube, on Instagram, everywhere. And I can link that in this corner and also in the description below if you want to watch that and you haven't. And I just want to say thank you so much for all the positive response that you gave the cover and the book, and it makes me so happy and also a little bit sad that a lot of you have commented in the past as well that you are looking forward and excited and hoping for the book to be translated into English or other languages in Europe and such. And of course it makes me so happy that you would want to read it, but at the same time I have written it in Swedish, and the publisher that I have a contract with, they're not translating any of their works. So here's the thing, I can translate it myself if I want to. I can hire someone to translate it into English, for example, and then I can try to get it published abroad, so through an English or US publisher, or publish it myself, of course. And I have heard other Swedish authors thinking about this. You following me and watching me, I want to share this story with you guys so much because you have watched me from the very beginning and cared about my story as much as I do, or not as much, but you have cared about my story, and that's everything that I could ask for, and care about my journey and everything. So in the future, if I get the opportunity or find the opportunity to translate it into maybe English, I will do that. But right now it's in the works. I'm not planning anything. Maybe in the future, you never know. So the cover reveal went well, and I'm so thankful for all of you who watched it and liked it and commented on it. And it was received very well on Instagram as well in the Swedish book community. And then the last thing that I want to talk about in October, writing wise, I did read through all of Project Full Moon. So in the last video I updated you about this, that I was going to read through it, and that I didn't have any plans on finishing the read through because I thought that I was getting Gods of Rot and Ruin back. But since I didn't end up editing my debut novel, I went through all of Project Full Moon. And Project Full Moon, if you don't know, is the project that I wrote last year, almost a year ago now, because I wrote it during NaNoWriMo and then a little bit of December. It's a dark fantasy romance with witches and witch hunters and demons. It's a rom-com, but dark as well. The atmosphere is dark, but there's a lot of humor in it as well. The banter between the two characters, for example, is very fun, I think. And I can link, of course, the videos of me outlining the project and then writing the project in this corner and also in the description below. Without vlogging it, I did actually end up finishing my read-through of the book, and it went well. And here's my update on it. So the last video I uploaded on this project was it last week? Yeah, I can link that in one of these corners. And that was when I thought that I would get the book back, the other book. Then after that, I have then continued to edit the book without vlogging because I was kind of stressed, not knowing like when I would get my debut back and if I would even have time to continue on the Project Full Moon. I was a bit confused and stressed, so I went headfirst into Project Full Moon with the knowledge that if I would get my debut novel back, I would drop it and then edit the other one, so I didn't want to like commit to a vlog and commit to you guys when I would just cut the vlog at a really like bad point for you and then continue it another time. Now I kind of regret it because now I don't really have any vlogs to publish in November. Looking back on the project, there wasn't really that big problems that I found with it. The one main reason that it isn't working right now is because it's too short. It is, what was it, 56,000 maybe? And it needs to be like 80,000. So I need to add maybe 30,000 words. So that's the main issue. There's a lot of descriptions missing and things I need to fill out. I need to add a scene or two. So there is things to fill out. But I don't think I found a particular like issue with the whole story arc and the character development. Maybe just small things with motivation maybe and just, yeah, things like that. But I think that it is quite good. Maybe. So that's the things that I did in October, and now for November. Of course, I've been saying this for the past couple of Plan With Me's. In November, I would like to get my debut novel back. I think I will get my debut novel back in November. And so the plans are to vlog everything of me editing the book and then publish it to you guys so you will see every step of the process, because I filmed every single thing about this book and put it on the channel. I can link the playlist in the description below. And so I don't want to lose that. So I will of course keep vlogging it for you. And I'm not doing NaNoWriMo this year because I need to focus on my debut novel, which is being published July 2023. So I need to get the second round of edit going as soon as I get the book back. And even if I didn't get my debut novel back for editing in November, I don't think I would have done NaNoWriMo this year. I did it last year. I did complete the goal of writing 50,000 words. So I did win NaNoWriMo and I wrote 50,000 words on my Project Full Moon on that book. But it was so taxing. Like, it took so much energy from me. I just think that I need a year off. Maybe I will write a short story, because I'm actually writing something right now which is something that I haven't written before. It is very much early days and I don't know if I'm ever gonna send this into somewhere. So I'm not gonna talk about it in my YouTube videos because it's a small project. But it's just for fun, it's just for me trying to get better at writing and writing in different genres and trying something new. So maybe I'm gonna work on that, but no NaNoWriMo for me, no 50,000 words. Now we're gonna talk about something very fun. We're gonna talk about the books that I read in October. And I read, when I look here, I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books. I think October has the most read books this year than any other month. So that was very fun, and it is because of me listening to books and then reading at the same time. So I'm gonna begin where I left off in the last video. And the first book that I finished in October was The Immortal Rules, yeah, by Julie Kagawa. The first book in a paranormal romance series for teenagers. I need to say teenagers because it is very mild. The romance in this book did not begin until the halfway point. It is romantic, like the main character builds a romantic connection to this guy. But spoiler alert, the only thing that they do is kiss. And I have kind of been spoiled for the third book, and I now know that I shouldn't really even be rooting for this couple because they're not endgame. I don't know who is endgame with this character, but I would not call this a paranormal romance. It's just a paranormal book. It's about vampires and humans and vampire cities where the humans are the slaves. But it kind of reminded me of The Walking Dead, but with vampires. And there being vampires and then there being kind of monster vampires that is kind of like zombies, but vampires. But yeah, I would call this a paranormal book because if you have the two genres in the title, or like the two genres as a genre, paranormal romance, I expect the romance to be as big as the paranormal aspect. But this whole book is about our main character trying to come to terms with being a vampire and the overarching like humans against vampires, and then the romance is just, it's a subgenre. So the genre should not be in the overarching genre in the book. So The Immortal Rules I gave 3 stars because as a paranormal book it was interesting and I really liked the Walking Dead kind of style of the book. It was really gritty and dark. I'm not going to continue with the series since I have been spoiled for the last book. I know how it ends and I will not read it. Thank you very much for coming to my TED Talk. And then I read a Swedish book by an author named C.N. Persson, and it's called What's the Worst That Can Happen? But in Swedish, you know. It's a contemporary romance, a rom-com you might say, and it's about this girl and this guy. It's a brothers or best friend's brother romance, and it also tackles like drug abuse, and it was really cute. And I gave the book 4 stars because it flew by so quickly, and the banter between the two characters I really liked. There was one thing that I didn't really like about the main male character, like the love interest. he calls the main character Cutie Pie. Was that what he called her? Cutie Pie or something like that. He uses a lot of English slang because he's supposed to be younger. He was supposed to be in his early 20s, and the main character is supposed to be like 28, 26. So there's a little bit of age gap there, and that's also a thing in this book, like he's too young for her. And I don't have an issue with him being younger. I have an issue with him using like English slang that I never hear 20-year-old people say. I'm 19-year-old. I have never called someone cutie pie in my whole life. I've never heard someone call someone cutie pie in their whole life. So I just thought that that word use was a little bit weird. That's why this book only got 4 stars, but it was still really enjoyable. So the next book that I read was my favorite, honestly, my favorite romance book of the year, I think. Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. Oh my freaking god. This was so much better than The Love Hypothesis. The angst between the two characters, because B, our female main character, she thinks that Levi, the love interest, hates her, and it's so clear that he doesn't. The like anxiety and angst between those two when they are forced to work together, when B thinks that he hates her, is so juicy and good. And then there's also like a hidden identities aspect of it, but like this was so good. I laughed, I rolled my eyes, I gasped, every emotion out there. 5 stars. It was so damn good. And I think Ella Hazelwood today has a cover reveal for her next book, which is called Love Theoretically. I know a lot of people doesn't like Ella Hazelwood and her writing and the fact that she writes the same type of hero in all of her romances, but Levi in like height and built the same as Adam in Love Hypothesis, but they are not the same spiritually. They are not the same, and I like Levi much better, and I like B much better, and I like the whole story much better because it didn't really make sense in Love Hypothesis, but this one did, and I freaking loved it. And then I read The Deal by Elle Kennedy, book 1 in the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy, and it's a college romance, a hockey college romance. So it's about Garrett and what's her name, Hannah, and Garrett is the popular boy and Hannah is the very smart girl in his class that he kind of wants to tutor him. Hannah tutoring him, and the romance building, and also things happening between, like, in Garrett's family with his father. It was just really good, and I didn't really know what I was expecting, but I definitely was expecting that teen drama, stereotypical things that we see in a lot of like US movies about teenagers and college. I was expecting that kind of thing with, you know, college and everything. Because I live in Sweden, we don't have anything like that here. But I really like Garrett and Hannah's relationship, and I'm actually really excited to continue with this series because I think that the second book I'm going to start like in November. It's my next read, I think. That's called The Mistake, and I think it's Logan's book. Logan and Grace. And it's called A Mistake. Then I read A Night Like This by Julie Quinn, and I listened to this as an audiobook. I gave the book 3 stars. I didn't really like the hero in this book, Daniel. Didn't really like him, and the fact that in the first chapter these two are like, they see each other in a hallway and he's beaten up and she instantly is so attracted to him that she's willing to throw away all her pride and, you know, the fact that women were not supposed to be found alone with a man in the early 1800s, and she's just willing to throw that away to kiss him and like be with this man, even considering things that happened to her in the past. It was just really, I was not sure about that. And then I liked Anne Winter as the heroine, but I didn't like Daniel, so 3 stars. It was enjoyable. Then I read Rule of Wolves, which I'm really happy about. I gave it 4 stars. Nina's storyline in this, I'm like, it's bittersweet, okay? I like that she got the ending that she got in this book, but at the same time I'm so hurt from the things that happened to her and a certain person in Crooked Kingdom still that I couldn't be as happy for her as I wanted to. But Nikolai and Soya, I love them, and the ending of this book, especially with Soya, it was so freaking good, and I gasped, and I like was about to throw the book across the room. And even though this is a 592 page book, it went by rather quickly, and I'm glad that I finished this duology. And considering where this book left off, I'm not surprised that there's rumors of Leigh Bardugo continuing the Six of Crows franchise with the Six of Crows book 3, because this series, King of Scars and or Rule of Wolves, it has combined both the Grishaverse and Six of Crows in a way that none of those alone could do. Cass Brecker is in this book, might I add. A certain Sun Summoner is in this book as well, so if you like that, I would recommend you to read this book. And then I read a book that I was very hyped to read because it's so hyped on especially BookTok, and it's Twisted Love by Anna Huang. And honestly, I was kind of disappointed by this one. I don't know if I'm just too soft for these kind of romances, but I thought that Alex was too much. He was way too much to handle, and I thought that our heroine, that I can't even remember her name, I thought she was way too good for him. Honestly, I'm more excited to continue with the off-campus series than this one, because this is a college book as well, but you don't see the college things that is happening. It's kind of like a mafia or that kind of billionaire romance than a college romance. And then I read the book, the first book that I actually have here, Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas, and oh my god, I gave the book 5 stars. It's not the same 5-star feeling that I had with Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood, but honestly, when I finished this, I only look back on it, my reading experience that is, with positive vibes. And this book makes me want to dye my hair pink again, even though no one has pink hair in this, but like the emo vibes, okay? The emo vibes are here, or the alternative vibes are here. I want to dye my hair pink again. Yes, I have had pink hair. I want to listen to rock music again, even though I don't like it right now. If I have read this a couple of years ago, I think I might have been too young. But at the same time, this would be everything to me. Like the anger, the teenage angst and anger and betrayal and hatred. And there's also hidden identities in this one, which surprisingly I wasn't mad about at all. I thought it just added to the angst. The love in this book between the characters is so strong that I loved it. I loved it so much. I gave it 5 stars. I finished that yesterday. Yeah, yesterday evening. But then I also finished yesterday The Sum of All Kisses by Julia Quinn. I also listened to this on audiobook and I'm listening to it on my walks. And this was so freaking good. I gave it 4 stars. It's about Hugh Prentice and Lady Sarah Plainsworth. Hugh Prentice is such a grumpy and stubborn guy, but with Sarah, he like teases her and he becomes like really soft, and I really like their love story, and I think this is the best one in the series, and I'm going to listen to the 4th one, which is called Sir Richard's Secrets, and it's the last one in the Smythe-Smith quartet. I haven't read Bridgerton and I don't think I will, but I feel like if you want to read some Julia Quinn stories, or one of them, or like one series of hers, I think this is way more accessible for you than Bridgerton, because it's just 4 books and they are really fast-paced and like easy to get through, and there's not as many names to keep track of as in Bridgerton. And then I just want to quickly show you books that I got in the month of October, and these are actually books that I bought secondhand off a person off of Bookstagram, and those are these 2 books. Reputation by Lex Croucher. Here it says, as if Bridgerton and Fleabag had a book baby. I think it's supposed to be like Gossip Girl. I don't really know if it's a love story. Maybe it's a Mean Girls vibe. I don't really know. I think I heard Chandler Ainsley talk about this in one of her videos and that she actually really enjoyed it. And she pitched it much better than I have done right here. But then I also got Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. This is my 2nd Christina Lauren book, or 3rd one. I read The Honeymooners. It was kind of bad actually. When I look back on it, it wasn't good. I also read Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating. I think it was one of my first rom-coms, and I love that book. But this is about Lily is the daughter of a notorious treasure hunter. I think it's a second chance romance actually. But it is about surviving in the wilderness with your ex, and it's a second chance romance, maybe. I don't think I've heard that great things about this book, but I am willing to try it. So that concludes my reading wrap up and reading plans for November. I hope that I will read a lot more in November, and actually I need to add that I surpassed my Goodreads goal. I had a goal of reading 45 books. I have now read 46 and I have 2 months left. I think I will reach 50, or I know I will reach 50. I have never read this much in a year before. Last year I read 45. So that's why I bumped it up to 45 to try to reach past that. That's the reading wrap up, that's my plans, and I hope that you're excited for the upcoming vlogs. I have a book shopping vlog coming up in November, when I went book shopping now in October in Stockholm, and then we'll see what type of vlogs I will put up, if there's editing or just random reading vlogs or writing a short story in a day or something like that. But I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a like and a comment below and let me know what you did in October and what your plans are for November. Are you participating in NaNoWriMo? And what are you writing? Because I love to hear about your projects and what you are working on currently. And subscribe, because I post a new video every week, every Thursday, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!